Okay, so for these questions, we know the client tried to purchase a special oil from them for their machine from you. Based on the historical data, the usage rate will be 30 liters per week, so demand will be 30. Currently, the price for the oil is set to 5 per liter. C will be 5. And suppose that the fixed order cost is $25. A is 25. And the holding cost will be 0.5 per unit per week. H will be 0.5 per week, unit and week. Okay. Suppose that you want to make sure that the client order at least 200 liters each time. What will be the minimum discount that you should provide to the client for the order greater than 200 liters? Okay, so again, this is the quantity discount questions, but instead of finding out which one we want to do, we actually want to solve this problem from the supplier's perspective. We want to know what will be the discount that I should provide to the client, so in order to encourage the client to order more. So the first thing we want to do, again, will be to calculate the EOQ quantity without any discount. That will be 280 divided by H. 2 times 25. D will be 30. H will be 0.5. You probably will notice that we did not convert the demand to the yearly demand. The reason is that the holding cost is also in week, so we don't need to do that. All the units that we are going to use in this particular example will be in week. So based on the calculations, I believe the order quantity will be 54.77 liter. Okay. So we know without discount, the quantity will be 54 liters. And if you remember the graph, this is the Y. This is a line without discount. And we know this is 54.77. But when you order discount, this is the line. But you will be able to get this line when you order more than, say, 200 units in this case. So what we want to do here is to figure out what would be the conditions such that this cost, we call it A, will be lower than the cost for this particular point. We call it B. Because only when the point A is lower than point B, the customer will try to order more. Okay? So now, let's figure out what will be the cost for B. We know Y, I will call it YB since we used that already, will be equal to HQ divided by 2 plus AD divided by Q plus C times D. Okay? And we know for this particular case, Q is equal to 54.77. C is equal to 5. So by plugging all the number, we know YB is equal to 177.386. Now, we also want to calculate YA. and the formulation will be identical. The difference is that Q now will be equal to 200, and C, we don't know C yet. That's what we want to find out, okay? So for convenience, let's call this C1, no, CB, you know, the one without discount, and we call this C as CA, the one with discount. So we want to figure out what will be CA. And to make sure that the customer will order A, we actually want to find what will be the condition such that YA is less than YB. So let's try to simplify YA a little bit. And by plugging all the number, I know YA will be equal to 53.75 plus CA times D. Okay, so to make sure YA is less than YB, I actually want to make sure 53 times 75 plus 30 times CA will be less than or equal to 177.386. Then I know 30 CA will be less than or equal to 177.386 subtract by 53.75. And further, I know CA will be less than or equal to 4.12. In other words, if you want to make sure the customer will order 200 units or above, I need to make sure the product cost will be equal to 4.12 instead of 5.